Tupac, I want to ask you about Pac. When you was around Diddy, did y'all ever have an interaction about Pac? Because I interviewed a few people that told me that, Diddy don't like when somebody mention Pac name around him or play his music. So,
Of course, and you jogged my memory. You jogged my memory. Thank you for the question. 2003, we were at the Source Awards, and I linked up with Crooked Eye. And me and Crooked Eye were reasoning. Crooked Eye has a death row chain on, and I'm, of course, active member from the Bad Boy family. Myself and Crooked Eye, we reasoned and we said, yo, we should do a tune together. And we should call it the Bad Boy Death Row Collab. And I'm like, you know what? That would be fire. At this time, Sugar's in jail. I tell Crooked Eye, you know that the row wouldn't assign me. He was like, what? So what's happened? I'm like, I'm at the Source Awards with you, with the band. What do you mean what happened? He's like, oh, okay, I dig it. So you currently bad, but you were going to come to the row? I said, yeah. Pause. I said, all right, cool. We move forward. I go out to LA. Me and Crooked Eye, we did the song. It's called the Bad Boy Death Row Collab. This is the first time in history that an active member from Death Row and an active member at Bad Boy during those times teamed up to do a collaboration, a song together. Inspired by Tupac. I remember sitting in Tupac's vehicles and all of that at that time. And Sway, shout out to Sway. Sway mixed the record. We went to Sway's house, big up to Sway, and Sway mixed down the record. Sway said, this is going to be a problem. He said, Crooked Eye and Dylon on the song Death Row and Bad Boy. He said, you know it's going to be a problem. Cool. I go back to New York. And that time we were at the Tonight video shoot for the band. And we in the tour bus getting ready. And the Bad Boy family, Sean's family and them approached me and said, what up, Trader? And I'm like, Trader? They're like, yeah, we heard that you out there in LA. All I know is that they killed my man. And we don't with that and da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Like, we already see what side you on. We don't play Tupac over here. We don't rock with none of that. We don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of that. None of that. You betrayed the fam. I said, how the I betrayed the fam when I rep Bad Boy on a tune with Death Row? What are you talking about? I said, y'all niggas need to evolve. Go suck your mother. Big beef in the tour bus, war of words. It's a tongue twister. And we went back and forth. And if you notice, when I got off the bus, the directors is there, there's big speakers, and they got the whole big red, gold, and green for me to wear. And I'm just not happy. I'm just not happy. I remember just saying like, yo, this is corny. This whole setup is corny. We as Grenadian people don't go so bright. Oh, them mother cunt. We don't do that. I don't like none of this. This is corny. They don't like me for this. You know what? Give me another reason I'm going to death row. I played Tupac so much. I remember even Babs telling me, Babs, do you remember when you cussed me at like, yo, you like Tupac? We Bad Boy. You can't be playing no Tupac. Like, everyone was against that, you know, and me and Chopper were the ones that played Pac the most just because, like, yeah, respect to Machiavelli the Don, yo, for real. Because if hip hop was a scripture book, that would be Black Jesus. That would be Black Jesus. If hip hop was a scripture book, you know, it's not. So don't y'all gonna I already see it. He's talking about Jesus now. But yeah.
yeah, that's crazy, man. So, Diddy, he was the one calling you a traitor over Pac.
Yeah, that wasn't he wasn't a fan of that. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. You know what I mean? I see it both ways. Yeah, rightfully so. But hell no, he wasn't feeling that. And me as a man, I don't follow people. Just like I didn't follow then. I was Bad Boy listening to more Tupac than anybody. I'm not here to follow the fashion and follow the norm. I think that's what people are doing. You know what's happening too? It's kind of like, you know when you don't like somebody? You could be in a relationship with somebody or like classmate, you at work and you don't like them. Now every little thing they do piss you off. Now you're just nitpicking all of a sudden. Now y'all find anything. Like they can find footage of Diddy walking in the room and say, look, he walking into the freak off. It's like no matter what, they're going to find something. Like Diddy could take a piece of paper and put it in the garbage and say, yep, that's the condoms from Punishers in that and that's why he threw it out. Because It's what happens when you don't like somebody. You know, that's a heavy don't like somebody that's happening on his side. And again, karma don't hide. You know what I mean? Karma doesn't hide. So whatever's happening, it is something that you did. It's something that's happening. And that's how the cycle of life goes. I went through my karma too. My karma for not being heard for over 10 years, maybe that came from things I did in the street prior to that. Maybe I hurt people. Maybe I hurt people's families. Maybe I sent people to the hospital. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I did a lot of different crimes. Maybe I tied up people and beat them in the head. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I did some real criminal, bloody situations to people that I don't like. And this is the karma that I'm getting by not being heard. God have a way of silencing people, you know?